Alrighty, so we are officially recording. And again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Welcome to Nova Southeastern University for this information session on school counseling. I will be one of your presenters. My name is Anthony Noriega, and I serve as the Associate Director for the Department of Recruitment and Admissions for NSU's College of Psychology. And I am going to be joined by a really remarkable individual, someone I've enjoyed speaking with and working with, and that is the chair for the Department of Counseling, Dr. Melanie Irusi. Dr. Irusi, good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. It's wonderful to connect with you, and excited to talk about the school counseling concentration and some of the changes that we've made and that will be implemented in the fall. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you. And we're also being joined by another very important individual joining us with the Counseling Program Office, and that is Ms. Diana Castro. Diana.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I serve as the academic advisor for the school counseling. So I look forward to getting to know you and to work with you. I hope you will join us at NSU coming in the fall term.
Absolutely. Thank you, Diana. And so we are going to be, we have a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, very simple. So we do have a lot of information that we will be sharing with you. And then there will be moments through the presentation we will pause for any questions. Please feel free as you go along, be viewing the presentation, listening to Dr. Irusi and myself. Please feel free to share your questions in the chat. We will read them and answer them for you. If not, once we pause for questions, and if you're not camera shy or microphone shy, you're more than welcome to share your question with everyone via your microphone. You don't have to come on cam. You don't have to. It's certainly up to you. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. This is where the comedy comes in on me trying to share the screen correctly. So I hope you see a razor in front of you, and that is razor right in front of you. So again, welcome to Nova Southeastern University, to this very informative information on school counseling, transitioning to our online delivery format with some residential institutes. We're going to explain, what does that mean? What does residential institute mean? No worries. We will be reviewing that with everyone and discussing further. Here are some lovely looking people that you've already been introduced. Sorry about my picture. Hope it doesn't scare you away. Please stay online. Today we will be going over some wonderful highlights in regards to our counseling program, and that is just years of really some great effort that has been put into enhancing our program, making it better for our students and delivery to our students under, of course, the leadership of Dr. Irusi. And then we will actually discuss the school counseling overview, what it looks like, what it will look like starting this fall, August 2022. We're going to go in briefly into the admissions requirements to the program and go over briefly some affordability, because I understand we do get common questions, and they're common, they're good questions about, well, how do I afford this great education and so forth. So we will go over that information, and again, we will be stopping a couple of times to the presentation, providing questions. And if I can get this going here, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Irusi.
Thank you, Anthony. Okay, so just a little bit of an overview of the department. So you're on the call because you're interested specifically in the school counseling concentration, which you can see here as the 48 credit hour program. But just so that you have a little bit of context of the department that you would be coming into, we do offer several counseling related degrees. So all of these concentrations are moving towards the MS in counseling degree, but there's a designated concentration that you're applying to, and then that you get admitted into that specific concentration. So you can see some of our other concentrations: clinical mental health counseling, substance abuse counseling, and substance abuse counseling and education, and then applied behavior analysis. So we've got an ABA degree program and then a non-degree program. And our clinical mental health counseling concentration was CACREP accredited last summer. So that's something that we're very proud of within the department. And then of course, school counseling has their own certifications and designations, which we'll talk about in just a moment. NSU, we have multiple campuses. And so this concentration for the school counseling program was historically offered in like a hybrid weekend intensive format. So the way that it used to work is that you would be admitted to a specific campus, and we had cohorts at Tampa, Orlando, and Davie. And so this new format change has really shifted that. So you're not necessarily being admitted into any specific campus. If you are near an NSU campus, please use the campus. Please use the library services, the student centers, all of the student services that are available on an NSU campus are available for all NSU students. So this school counseling concentration is now going to be offered online, but you are more than welcome to come to an NSU campus and to use those services. The counseling faculty, I always smile when the slides comes up because we have such a wonderful, robust faculty with various expertise, and we're growing. We're continuing to grow our full-time faculty as we continue to grow our programs. But we have a faculty that really cares about our students. We care about our students' success. We talk a lot about how we engage with students, how we set up our courses. We're always looking to improve, to help students have a good experience in each and every course while gaining the skills and the experiences that they need so that you can go out into the communities, out into the school systems, and really provide the difference that you want to make, to really be there as a helper. So faculty, I think, really just exemplify that. So as you get to know your faculty, I think you'll experience that. Don't hesitate to reach out, get connected with them, especially for mentorship and some of these kind of bigger picture ideas within the profession. I think faculty always welcome that, and you will be assigned a faculty advisor. So as Diana mentioned, she is your she would be your academic advisor for the school counseling students, which means she helps with registration, kind of that planned program of study, whereas faculty advisors can help with more just general student success, as well as understanding the profession as a whole. And as I mentioned, the school counseling concentration is DOE approved. So the Florida Department of Education has approved the curriculum in the program. And we have also been accredited by NCATE. Now NCATE is now kind of transformed into CAPE, and NSU is currently in process of the CAPE accreditation process. So we had our site visit in December, and we're awaiting that determination. And the school counseling concentration is specifically pursuing the ASCA, or the American School Counseling Association, SPA, which is a special recognition. So those things are in progress right now, moving through the summer, and should be submitted in early fall. So just know that there is, things in motion for us to have national accreditation under CAPE and for the ASCA SPA. And then of course, we know that Southeastern University as a whole is accredited by SACS, Commission on Colleges. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff, right? And if at any point I'm not making sense, or if you need clarification, just jump on in and ask, okay? So this is kind of an overview of what you can expect if you were to come into the program in the fall. All of our students will be transitioning to the new format this coming fall semester. So the program is, as it has been for the summer term, the fall will be the launch of the new online format. So when you register for classes for fall 2022, you'll be looking for classes that are going to be offered in this new format that we're talking about today. Okay, so all of the classes will run a full semester. So at NSU, we have a fall semester, we have a winter semester, which if you're not familiar with NSU, you might know it is a spring semester in other universities, but that's the one that will start in January and end usually late April or early May. And then we have a summer semester. So we used to have 8-week terms. We've eliminated those with the new format. Now all courses will run the full semester. 2 of the courses in the school counseling curriculum have a residential institute, and we'll talk more in detail about that in just a few moments, but those will be in-person meetings on a physical campus for 1 weekend out of that semester. So you'll know those dates far in advance so that you can plan accordingly. But we did decide that some in-person components are important, especially when you're learning counseling skills. So we've been really intentional in selecting the courses, and it's exciting. Students really enjoy it. We have a residential institute for our CMHC online program, and students always want more. So they love getting to know each other, really being together for at least that time. We have 2 ways in which your online courses are going to be delivered. One way is going to be synchronous online courses, which means you'll want to pay attention to the day and time of those courses when you register, because you will be on Zoom live with your instructor and with your classmates during that time period. So when you register for synchronous online classes, you want to make sure that you've got that time carved out of your schedule so that you can be online in class for that time period on a weekly basis. The asynchronous courses will not have a day and time associated with them when you register for them. So asynchronous courses, they do not have a live meeting component. You don't have to come in person to anything. You don't have to be on Zoom for any sort of requirement. If there are Zoom meetings, they'll be kind of optional, or your instructor will talk about the expectations for those. Most of this instructional material is going to be recorded, and students can engage with it on your time according to the course schedule, which is given to you by the course instructor. So these are very flexible with your time and how you engage with the content and complete assignments. Of course, each course will have a calendar that you need to follow the due dates and such. So every course has a designated delivery method. So here you can see this is a snapshot of the full curriculum. On the left-hand column, those are all the courses and their names. And then in the right-hand column, you can see the format in which it will be delivered. Okay, so for example, the first one, PYCL 503, Counseling Theories for School Counselors, it's offered synchronously online via Zoom. It will be offered synchronously online via Zoom every semester. Okay, so it's not like that one will eventually be offered asynchronously. It's whatever format that class is delivered in, that's the format it's delivered in every semester. So again, synchronous online via Zoom means that when you register for the class, there will be a specific day and time. That's what you can expect to show up, online each week at that day and time. The asynchronous courses are going to they won't have those days and times when you register, and you can expect a lot of flexibility there. It does require a little bit of discipline, maybe, you know yourself. And so just because you don't have to show up on Zoom for 3 hours a week, you do have material to engage with and to make sure that you're keeping on pace with your assignments and such. And then you can see the 2 courses that we've identified for the residential institutes are PYCL 511, Introduction to Counseling Techniques. So that's where you really start to learn what does it mean to be a professional counselor in regards to what I'm doing. You start to really learn the counseling skills and strategies. There's role plays involved. You're jumping into the pool, right? You're getting in there and you're starting to do some counseling with, in role plays amongst your classmates. The other residential institute is down PYCL 635, Group Theory and Practice, and that's group counseling skills. So again, we really felt as though students benefit from developing counseling skills in person. So there will be the residential institute where you come to a physical campus for 1 weekend for that class as well, for the opportunity to engage with your instructor and classmates in person and develop group counseling skills. This is just kind of breaking it down by the format. So these are the courses that are offered asynchronous online. We use Canvas. How many of you are familiar with Canvas? Most of you. If you're not, don't be afraid. It's fairly user-friendly. It is our learning management system. Instructors have their courses arranged usually by modules. So like week by week, they have the content that the students need in Canvas. Students often submit their assignments via Canvas. There's discussion boards. There's a lot of different educational and instructional tools that instructors can use via this medium. So again, about 3 hours a week, even though you're not going to class for 3 hours a week, you can expect about 3 hours of instructional material each week for these asynchronous online courses. And then here we have the synchronous online courses. So again, they're housed in Canvas, but you go to class via Zoom for 3 hours once a week. So this is, there will be material in Canvas, but it would be more of the dialogue and interaction live via Zoom with your instructor and classmates. I do want to pinpoint practicum and internship. You can see the last 3 courses listed here, 685, 688, and 689. That's when you are placed in a school. Okay, so we have a process where Dr. Anna Owens is placing students in the Tri-County area, and then we have other practicum coordinators if you're outside of the Tri-County area, where you're placed in a school to actually get field experience. So you will have a site supervisor who is a school counselor who's employed by the school at which you're placed, and you will be having the opportunity to actually work with students to develop your school counseling skills and to really be part of that system. So practicum and internship courses are a little bit different in that they're paired with that field experience. And then when you're meeting with your class and your instructor online, it's kind of like supervision, where you're talking about the work that you're doing with the students at your school, in addition to your own development and own learning to grow into a professional school counselor yourself. So those have been synchronous online via Zoom. So really, there's no change with those courses, but just so that you know what to expect there is that field experience component for those 3, which are later in your program. And then we have the Residential Institute. So all of our classes housed in Canvas. So it starts in Canvas. It starts like an online course. There are going to be synchronous Zoom meetings before and after the in-person weekend meeting. So your instructor will let you know those days and times so that you can plan accordingly. And then you can see the days and times there of the weekend meeting. The Friday evening is 5 to 8 via Zoom. And we did that because we know that people are having to travel, people are working. It can be difficult to get somewhere by 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. So students will need to be on campus on Saturday and Sunday, physically there in order to complete the Residential Institute. And Saturday, the hours are 9 to 6 and Sunday 9 to 1. We end at 1 o'clock on Sunday so that you have time to travel home, depending upon how close you are to the campus where the RI is being offered. Okay, I just gave you a ton of information. What questions are coming up for you all?
And again, while maybe if we let Dr. Rusi take a little sip of water, since she shared a lot of information. Again, if for any questions you have, please feel free. Oh, we have a hand raise. Please feel free to share your question in the chat, or you're welcome to raise your hand and utilize these features. Allison, go right ahead.
So for the internship period later in the program, is it possible to have a gap? Like if it ends up being a semester that's busier, does it have to be like right away that you go into that, or because I'm assuming that's more time than taking the coursework?
Yes, you're exactly right. It is more time because you're out in the schools. So yeah, you plan, and that's where Diana can be helpful as well as you're looking at your planned program of study. When is the right time for you to take internship? So most students will take 688 and 689 in the same semester and be like working at a school 40 hours a week to get those requirements done. And that's typically like the last semester of the program. So you've got a lot of time to plan accordingly. Some students do split it up, but it really just depends on what you think is going to work best.
Thank you.
Sure.
Question. Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi. So I was wondering about the synchronistic and asynchronistic. If it's asynchronistic, is it like, it doesn't time us, right? Like if we have to go and do something, we can get back to it later on.
Correct. Yeah. Now, some of the quizzes, it depends on how your instructor does the settings to the quiz. So I would say any sort of quiz or exam on Canvas, try to set aside a time period where you can do it and complete it in one setting. Some of them will be timed tests, but it depends on how your instructor sets it up. We do also, Canvas has this feature called Respondus Lockdown Browser. So again, it's an option for instructors to use, so they can actually like verify that it's you. It doesn't let you use any other windows, or you can't be searching for answers using the internet while you're taking the exam. So I think exams are the one thing that you would want to make sure that you start and complete at one time. Other than that, most of the material is, you can engage with it as it works for you.
So is it more like multiple choice questions versus papers or reflection papers or things of that nature? It's like a mix of both.
There's a great variety. There's a lot of papers, I can say. There's a lot of reflection. Just in becoming a counselor, we have to kind of foster that reflection within ourselves. APA style writing is expected in the program, and we do have some really excellent resources through the NSU library to help people learn what APA style is and how to write in that way. But we also integrate some of the exams and some of the multiple choice questions, because that's also, a good assessment of learning. So there's quite a variety.
Yeah, learning multiple choice is not my strength, but that being said, I know the final, then it has to be like a national test. Will be approved for like a national test, so like we could work anywhere if we wanted to after this, or is it just like an in-state exam?
Good question. Diana, you can probably speak to this. We have the exit exam for the program, and then we also have the Florida certification requirements.
Yes, so the program is with the requirements that we have in order to complete the program, you become certified in the state of Florida. So if you want to become certified in a different state, you will have to abide by the rules of that particular state, and you'll have to see if our program is accepted, because it is just created in such a way that it caters to the Florida residents. Especially because you have to have a teacher's certificate. If you don't have a valid teacher certificate, not temporary, then there's 2 extra classes that you need to take in order to fulfill that requirement. And then there's 2 tests that you need to take in order to graduate from the program to have your degree conferred. And those are also the tests that are provided by the state Florida Department of State. The Florida Department of Education. So I would say that if I know that some of you are from out of state, make sure that you know what the requirements are to become certified in your state.
I also thought there was a national exam. That's why I was asking.
I'm sorry.
I thought there was also a national exam.
No, for us, it's the subject area exam and the school guidance pre-K through 12. In order for you to be able to have your degree conferred, you need passing scores for those 2 tests, in addition to completing all the program requirements in terms of courses, practicum, and internship as well.
Yeah, okay. For school counseling and for any sort of state-based certification or licensure, it's going to be state specific. So every state has their own statutes.
Oh, I understand. California is like a whole foreign country. So don't even get me. California and Florida are like the 2 polar opposites. It's been fun.
Yes, they are.
I mean, it could be like not like any more extreme. And then my last question is, are the asynchronistic, are they all kind of mandatory asynchronistic? There's no option for synchronistic version of that class?
That's correct. Yeah. So if they're offered asynchronous, they're always offered asynchronous. There is not an option where it would be offered synchronously or in a different delivery format.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Thank
see
you.
that Julia was asking
Yeah.
about if can we take classes quicker than others? Also, how many courses per semester is it?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes,
I
we're
can answer
gonna.
that.
Diana, yes, we're gonna with those type of questions to Julia's question, which is great, and Dr. Arisi will let you with the classes. Can we take classes quicker than others? I'm gonna switch views and show everyone our program sheet, which kind of lays it out. And this is relating to Julia's question. So Dr. Arisi, give me a moment here to
Sure.
and then I will let you take over again. This is the comedy sketch of correctly.
Can you click the right screen?
Click the right one. I know, click here, drag here.
And it really is a beautiful document, so it's worth it, I promise y'all.
So thank you. So are we seeing it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'll let you go ahead, Dr. Rusi.
Yeah, so this lays it out. And again, Diana is so helpful in kind of talking with students about what they feel as though will work for them as they're looking at registering for courses. So this is our course sequence. You can do it in the regular course sequence, which you can see is 2 courses per semester, or the accelerated course sequence, which is 3 courses per semester. So there's no right or wrong, right? You kind of think about what your life is like and what your goals are and what seems most feasible for you. And then once you get to year 2, you can see similarly, we've got 2 or 3 courses per semester, depending upon regular or accelerated. So for the accelerated folks, you could be done in about 2 years. The regular course sequence in about 3 years. So there are different ways to go through the program depending upon what you think will work best for you. I'm going to bounce to the next question. Unless Diana, do you have anything to add there, or Anthony?
No, Diana, go ahead.
No, this pretty much summarizes how the cohort starts, and you get to decide which one you would like to follow. If you follow out of sequence, you would be working with me to make sure that we catch you up. But this is a great example of pretty much how the courses are laid out.
And thank you, Diana. And we will share this document with you, with everyone in attendance, so we know who came. So I'll be happy to send this to everyone's way after our presentation this evening. And Dr. Arisi, you're right. Go on to the next great question is what are the times generally for our synchronized class meetings?
Great question. I love this question.
Yeah.
And we struggled with this a little bit. We went back and forth, like, what do students want? So one of our faculty actually polled our current students to see what they want. 4 to 7 was a popular time slot. 5 to 8 was another one, and 6 to 9. So somewhere in that range, your courses would be, one of those 3 options is what I would tell you to expect: 4 to 7, 5 to 8, or 6 to 9. So hopefully it's, after some of the day's responsibilities. But I do recommend that when you do register for those courses that you plan to really carve out that time so that you can be focused, just as if you were going to a physical class.
Yes, absolutely. Julia, go ahead.
Hey, I'm sorry. I had a question about so basically the first time I applied for summer and I got accepted, and then they said that they don't do it in the summer anymore, or spring or something like that. So then they moved me to the fall, and then I just got the email that it's fully online now, but they said they don't do it in the fall at the Orlando campus. So I was like, okay, well now it's not the Orlando campus, now it's online, and I would like to do it sooner than fall, obviously, which is why I applied earlier. But now I'm just confused because I'm like, now it's online. So it's like, it's not really add up. They were like, it's particularly the Orlando campus that doesn't start in, that only starts in fall. So I was just wondering about that because it was like super confusing.
Sure. So the school counseling concentration has only started in the fall for, I don't know, Anthony, you probably know better than me, but at least the last few years.
Yeah, for a good while.
So the school counseling concentration only admits like to start in the fall. So that hasn't necessarily shifted. We're still currently only keeping it once a year fall admission. Not to say that can't change in the future, but that's how it is now. But you're right in that we're no longer accepting to a specific campus because it is online. So it creates more flexibility for the students. And yeah, so you don't have to worry about, you know, being affiliated with a specific campus. And if you're in the Orlando area, use the Orlando campus. We're still in the process of determining where the residential institutes would be, but we're going to look to see where our students are clustered around when we have this incoming group for the fall. So there's a chance that, you know, we could have residential institutes at the Orlando campus, but it's too soon to say that right now. But you're exactly right in that the program's going to be online.
Okay, yeah, no, I was wondering because I think they said it was like a mishap anyways, that the website let me do that, but I was just checking because like I was like, okay, but no, that's okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Julia.
And Dr. Rusi, going back to the synchronized class meetings, so generally will they last classes are 3-hour class periods, so will they last 3 hours, those synchronized class meetings?
Yeah, we kind of do it 2 different ways. It is like a 3-hour block. Usually instructors give a break either halfway in between, or they end a little bit early. And usually it depends on how the instructor works and maybe student preference can factor in there. But yeah, you can plan on the 3-hour block for the weekly classes via Zoom.
I have a question, you mentioned it quite a few times in the presentation, but could you just briefly kind of explain why this transition? You know, Julia brought up a good point. It was offered at Orlando, so why this transition to fully online?
Great question, Anthony. Yeah, so the school counseling concentration is a long-standing program. Okay, so but we're always in the business of like, you know, how do we best serve our communities? How do we best serve our students? And what we've heard for quite a while is that very recently, right, and this isn't lost on any of you, that our communities have a great need for school counselors. We need more certified school counselors in our communities. There's a shortage out there, especially where we're at in Florida. So we know that the need is there. And so in the effort to help put more quality certified school counselors out into our communities, we wanted to make our graduate program more accessible. So it felt a bit limiting, you know, having the weekend intensive courses that worked for some students, but it seemed like it really didn't work for a lot of prospective students because they were, you know, meeting all weekend, and that was a requirement for several of the courses. So we've shifted the format to make this program specifically more accessible to students, and so that we can help you, you know, get to your goals of being certified school counselors and getting out into our communities, because there's a lot of need out there.
Absolutely. And yes, just to confirm, the school counseling program only has a fall start at this time. So, and if any changes occur, we'll of course notify everyone. But as of now, yes, the fall start for school counseling remains. So if you haven't submitted your application, please do so as soon as you can, so we can get you started. Any further questions before we move on? And again, we are going to have another opportunity for more questions as more questions arise pertaining to this new transition. But we do want to briefly go into the admissions requirements as well as some affordability. So any other question or two before we move on?
Anthony, I don't know if you can see Madeline's physically raising her hand on
I'm
screen.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm looking.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you.
you.
All my other questions were answered, but I have one. I am currently working in a school, and I'm actually going to be transitioning into the guidance area, kind of ahead of things. Is that going to be you know, when it comes time for me to do my internship or practicum, am I allowed to stay at my current school?
Such a good question. Are you in Florida, Madeline?
Yes, I'm in Weston.
Yes. Okay. So that's what we're seeing more and more of. is that people who are not yet finished with the program, or even those who aren't yet in the program, are being hired in these positions because there is such a need out there. So the answer used to be that there has to be clear distinctions between what you're doing for your job, your employment, and what you are doing for practicum and internship hours. I'll tell you that practicum and internship have very clear, like you have to be providing counseling services. So that could be individual, it could be group guidance, but something where you're truly in the role of a school counselor. So there is some gray area there. When you get ready for that, you would talk with Dr. Anna Owens, who does the school placements for a practicum and internship, and kind of talk about where you're at, what you're doing for your job, and then she'll kind of talk you through what you need to be doing, whether it's at that site or a different site, to earn those practicum and internship hours. But we have learned that like we've never seen before, that people who aren't school counselors are really doing some of this work. So we're acknowledging that, and there is a chance that we could be counting some of that time towards practicum and internship.
Okay, is there a chance that you would, or a definite that you would tell me I need to go somewhere else?
I mean, there's always a chance. It's hard to know without knowing exactly like the work that you're doing there and the role that you're in. So it's always, it depends. And that's why I say, like, it's individual conversations with Dr. Owens, because it's really up to her determination of what is going to fit into this, you know, practicum internship experience that's required for the program and required for certification. So there's definitely a chance that you could have to get another experience, but it's hard to say.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And my apologies, Madeline. I didn't see you. This whole Zoom
No
thing,
worries.
two screens.
No
my
worries.
apologies.
No worries. Thank you, Dr. Irusi, for noticing.
Sure.
All righty. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead into our presentation, because we have about 15 minutes left, and we do want to be cognizant and respectful of everyone's time. And again, the next few slides will not be long. I cut it down to 20 instead of 40. So Dr. Arusi said, you know, my 40 slides are too many. That was a joke. Okay, not a big joke, sir. So with the admissions requirements to the program, very simple. A lot of you may have already experienced this or gone through the process or completing your application, and that is to submit an online application form. Everything is online, available online at our website, which you see below there. There is a $50 non-refundable application fee. So essentially, once you complete the application, you do have to pay the $50 in order for us to receive your application. Okay, so please be sure to, I know it's $50, but please be sure to pay up so we can receive your application. Once that has been done, let's get working on the supplemental items. And that is, of course, your transcripts, your official transcripts from all the colleges and universities that you have attended. If you have done any international credits or any international schooling at the college university level, of course, those will need to be evaluated by a accreditation agency. But yes, we do need all your colleges and university transcripts. So if you attended a 2-year, got all, you know, general requirements and transferred to a 4-year, we need both transcripts. All right, that's a common question. So please be sure to submit all transcripts, followed by a personal statement. We on the website, again, which you see there on the slide, provide 5 writing prompts when it comes to the personal essay, the personal statement. It's essentially answering those writing questions, writing prompts, and submitting it. Now, we do ask for an 800-word limit. Now, I say this with some very friendly advice. Please don't concentrate too much on that 800-word, you know, counting like, oh my goodness, I'm at 850. That's okay. We want everyone, yes, we want to get to know you, the applicant, but we want everyone to essentially get to the point and concentrate on those questions. We're not asking for a thesis. We're not asking for any of that. Save that for when you start your classes. But we do want to get to know you, and let's just stick to the questions, all right? Followed by 2 academic or professional letters of recommendation. And these are important because, again, it is the faculty members that review these applications. And so therefore, they do want to see your recommenders, how they recommend you at a academic level, your presentation style, your oral style, your maturity, your professionalism, and so forth. So please make sure that you get some good recommenders, which I'm sure everyone will. The teaching certificate requirement verification form is available on the website as well. Diana referred to this area earlier on, and this will help determine if those additional 2 classes that Diana mentioned will be needed. So please make sure you obtain this form on the website. And again, once all your documents have been received from the application, transcripts, essay, and the 2 letters of recommendation, the application will be shared with the faculty for their review and their decision. And everything as far as delivery and notification and communication, we've all done via email. Okay, so please be checking your email, and also please be checking spam. I can't stress this enough for all of us who have Yahoo accounts and Gmail accounts. Please be sure to check your spam for any updates. Sometimes our emails do go to spam, so we want to provide that reminder to all of you. As far as affordability, for all this information, which I'm going to cover, is a lot more is available on the nova.edu/financial aid website. So again, you don't have to be a student, you don't have to be an applicant to obtain this information. I invite everyone to explore the website. And when you visit the website, on the left-hand side, right under the graduate and professional section, you will see information on affordability, on scholarships, student employment, and so forth. Also, a really cool filtering system is looking for scholarships internally and externally. So internally, there are internal institutional scholarships. However, you must be a student and able to be eligible for an institutional scholarship. There is an application involved in institutional scholarships. So again, you must be a current student, have matriculated into your courses, established a GPA in order to apply for a graduate institutional scholarship. However, there are resources for external scholarships, something that you perhaps are eligible in applying for and receiving, and therefore you can bring over to help pay the cost of your tuition. So you do have these resources available to you, as well for all our veterans out there. First and foremost, thank you so much for your service. Through our Veterans Resource Center, who provide assistance in ensuring that our veterans receive their benefits. There is also representatives within financial aid to provide this assistance information. So we certainly hope you utilize your veterans benefits. As well as through the bursar's office, there are payment plans. So we do have payment plans available to everyone. You just need to contact the bursar's office and make those appropriate arrangements with them as far as payment plans. So if the question is, well, how do I get eligible for any type of assistance, loans, and so forth? Well, a lot of us may be used to this already. We did it through our undergrad, and that's to complete a FAFSA. You will need to complete a FAFSA to help determine what you're eligible in receiving, whether it's, again, any sort of loans, assistance, graduate plus loan, and so forth, subsidized loans. You do want to submit your FAFSA, add NSU to your FAFSA, and then of course submit it. And then our financial aid will process it and of course notify you via email on what you are eligible in receiving. So therefore, our student financial assistance is available for any sort of assistance that you may need, and sort of understanding this a little bit better, whether you've been out of school for a while, so you've forgotten the process, which is okay, that's why we're here. Whether you are out of undergraduate studies and going right into into your graduate studies and you want to know how that sort of works, we were definitely here to provide that assistance for you. And so with that, we're gonna close it up with any final questions. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen and see if we have any questions. There's no questions in the chat, so Allison, go right ahead.
Okay, so I was wondering if any of your professors in the department both teach and practice at the same time.
That's a good question. For school counseling?
Okay, so actually no, but I know I'm supposed to be here for school counseling, so I was just wondering.
Okay. Actually, no. I love that. Because, well, faculty is a full-time job. So it's you know, pretty difficult to be a full-time faculty and, you know, a school counselor. We have a tremendous group of adjunct faculty who, some of them are actively school counselors. Some of them have been school counselors. They've also worked up through administration. We have adjuncts who are working in leadership roles in the districts. So, you know, with the school counseling background and kind of have gone up into the districts. So we have a really great group of school counseling faculty. Some have experience, you know, previously as school counselors and then moved in the direction of full-time faculty. Others are adjunct faculty and they're still, you know, engaged in other full-time positions that are like grounded in school counseling.
Okay.
So in our other programs, we have, again, kind of a variety. We do have some full-time faculty who have private practices, you know, that they do part-time. We have other adjunct faculty who kind of flip it, right? They do practice full-time and then they teach courses adjunct part-time. So we have quite a combination, but yeah, that experience is there in the faculty that you'll have in any of the programs. They're in touch with what's happening in the profession and what the needs are actually as service providers when you're in the schools.
Okay, thank you so much, because I'm a full-time faculty member and I was wondering if there was anybody who might be not annoyed if I were to kind of ask them questions about the logistics of that as we went through.
Yeah, like and then doing practice part-time, like in a private practice setting? Is that what you're thinking? Okay, yeah, no, if you want some connections, I can connect you.
That would be awesome, thank you.
Yeah, just send me an email and I'm gonna put my email in the chat and then we can talk about what would be helpful for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great question. And Diana, I'm going to have this next question to you. When does the fall term starts and when is registration available for new students?
Registration is actually open for students now. New students, once you get accepted, you will receive an email from our program manager, Miss Patricia Zawoyski, with instructions on how to register. If you have any issues, you can schedule an appointment with me ahead of time and we can talk about your schedule. Usually because you start as a cohort, you would follow the slide that Anthony has your courses already set up. So you would follow either the regular or the accelerated pace. And then the fall term starts on August 22nd. And usually you would start registering around June for your classes. And again, since you start as a cohort, there will always be a seat available for you in those classes.
Okay. And if you have not received that communication, we will go ahead and look into that for you. I've made some notes here, so just sit back and we will look into that. If you've been admitted to the program and have not received this communication that Diana just mentioned, we will go back and look into that for you.
And I'll put my email address in the chat in case anyone wants to speak with me, or if you are admitted and you want to set up an appointment.
Yeah, while Dan is doing that, the next question is another great question. If we will be having additional informative Zoom sessions such as this, that is a wonderful question. That's something that Dr. Arusi and myself will discuss. However, we do have starting June 8th, if I'm not mistaken. If that's a Wednesday, my apologies if it's not a Wednesday. My department, we do have weekly information sessions to review all our master's programs and all our doctoral programs. And again, these are in information sessions, so very similar to this, offered this platform via Zoom, where we will have 1 week all our master's programs. So we review all the master's programs we offer, and then the following week we will review all our doctoral programs and our specialist program. So we do have those weekly, and if you just bear with me, give me a moment here, I can provide that information, that link for you. And there's a variety of again, we do this throughout the summer. So every Wednesday there is an information session. And so this link right here that I'm sharing now are for the master's programs. If you are interested in another master's programs besides counseling, not to steal anybody away from counseling. However, if you want more information about experimental general forensic, please attend that program. If you are interested in our specialist in school psychology degree after you receive your master's, just FYI, then we do have doctoral information sessions as well, and that is the link for the doctoral information session. So please join us, and please share with your friends if you have others who are exploring or shopping around for a psychology counseling program to join us for information session. Thank you. Great questions. Anything else? Any other questions? We have a couple of minutes before the 5 p.m. Eastern time. And again, we want to be respectful and cognizant of everyone's time. But by all means, if there's any other questions, please go ahead and share. You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time tonight. Appreciate you all coming and spending an hour with us. Hopefully you got what you needed, what you came for. If not, hopefully you know how to get that then. If other questions come up, or if you feel like you need some follow-up information, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yes, absolutely. I echo Dr. Arusi. Just reach out if there's any follow-up questions. And we thank you to Dr. Arusi for making time and joining us and providing this great information. Diana, thank you as always for your support. And until then, I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.